Hello, Year 10, and welcome to Lesson 5, where you finally get to write your speech. So, just like all the other tutorials that I've been leading you through, your writing lessons are going to follow the same format every time. So, you'll be pleased to hear that there are only two tasks in the writing lessons. So, I've put your question in again just to remind you what it is, but I'm sure that you are all well prepared and you know what it is that you've got to write your speech about. So task one is literally just write your speech, okay? So use 40 minutes of this lesson, so 40 out of the 45, I just want you to be writing for, okay? On this page, I have put a potential structure if you feel like you need it. So if I was going to write a speech, this is how I would structure mine. If you have your own ideas and you want to use the zooming out approach or the so what approach, or you've just got three separate points that you want to make, that's absolutely fine. But this structure is here for anybody who's kind of struggling to get going because maybe it's been a while since you did your planning. So my structure would be starting with an introduction where I introduce myself and I make it clear that it's a speech. So I would say, good morning, my name is Dr. Williams and I am here to persuade you that, and be really clear about what my argument is. Okay, so like we've said in persuasive writing, you need to maintain that consistent argument from start to finish, so it needs to be in your introduction. Try and think about gripping your audience though. Are you going to use a rhetorical question, a short sentence, repetition, a triplet, direct address? So I've given you some sentence starters there. As I say, anything in blue you are more than welcome to ignore. If you want to use your own ideas, please do. Okay, so paragraph one, I would take that first idea in the quote of powerful people, selfish people. I would probably use quite emotive language and direct address to try and convince people. And I'd put a sentence starter there in case you need it. Paragraph two, I would use the second idea in the quote, does power always corrupt? And I would use facts and stats and experts. Okay, so try and really convince people that I am right and other people who are very clever agree with me. So a sentence starter there again if you need it. Paragraph three, the final idea in that quote was, do powerful people ever use their power to help others? And I would probably use things like triplets, alliteration, or maybe some repetition, because we're building to a big finish here, aren't we? So I want it to sound really powerful and really quite memorable, because I'm building to an end there. So again, in blue, a sentence starter should you need it. Finally, you need to bring this to an end. You need to think of a conclusion. It might just be that you want to repeat what your argument was in your introduction. That sentence might repeat itself, and there's some handy repetition. It might be that you asked a rhetorical question in your introduction that you now want to answer. Okay, so if you can link your introduction to your conclusion, that often helps round things off and make things sound finished. You might want to end by telling us why we should or shouldn't care. Why is it important or not? Who is it important to? You might want to end on a powerful image, so your best language. So whatever you magpied from that original model, any of that going to wind its way into your final words. Okay, so you'll spend 40 minutes doing the very best that you can. I really want to stipulate that often in the throes of creativity, the one thing that often goes missing are paragraph breaks. So please don't forget to put your paragraph breaks in. So where you can see my lines in the table, I should see lines across your page of no text at all where you've remembered to split this up, okay? If you don't write in paragraphs, guys, you're at the bottom of that mark scheme. So very important that you remember to put your paragraph breaks in. So 40 minutes of writing, and then task two, very simple, check your work. So I've given you a checklist there of things that the exam board wants to see, but also things that you've been practicing last lesson. So things like direct address, a rhetorical question, that kind of thing. Okay. And so if you're working your way through and thinking, oh, you know what, I don't have many of these, or actually I had a really good anecdote that I planned last lesson, I forgot to put it in. These last 5 minutes are just to go back and include anything that you might have forgotten about. As I say, if you thought in your planning stage, oh, you know what, an anecdote's just not going to work for me here, or I just don't know really how I would get repetition into this particular piece of writing, then that's fine. Don't force it. This is not a thing where examiners have a list of devices that they want to see and you get a mark for every one. It's really to do with, have you got a clear argument and are you being engaging? And it might be that your style of writing is engaging purely because of the language that you use, or because you use statistics particularly well. It doesn't mean that you have to use every single device. Okay, so those are your writing lessons. Very best of luck. Enjoy.